If you have plants, you're going to have to deal with insects at some point. It's just a fact of living with nature. I'm Cece with One Green Pea, and today we're going to talk all about that pesky insect, the scale. We're going to talk about how to identify it and, most importantly, how to successfully treat your plant if you've found a scale infestation. Scale are teeny tiny little bugs that suck the sap out of your leaves and stems. Now, they rarely kill the plant, but they can weaken it and they can also spread to other plants. So you really want to deal with scale as soon as you find it. Now, what do they look like? Well, lucky for you, I took photos. Mature scale, adult scale, are generally brown. They can be any color, but they're generally brown, generally round or oblong. And you'll notice them because they create little lumps on your stems generally, or on the spines of your stems. And if you get in really close with a lens, then you'll be able to see that it's actually a bug and not just, like I've hoped before, just a piece of dust. The adults have a waxy, hard outer covering, which makes them a little difficult to treat, but not impossible. The females lay eggs underneath that shell, and then all the eggs hatch, and then they crawl out. And the immature or the young scale, they're called crawlers. They're the only ones that actually move. They move down the stems or the leaves, and they find a place to attach. They grow that hard, waxy shell. They start creating their babies. So you can see how having one or two turns into having an infestation pretty quickly. So how do you know that your plant has scale? Well, like I said before, you're probably going to notice first the little brown bumps on your plant. It's really helpful to have a magnifying glass or even a jeweler's loupe. These are a little bit harder to use, but once you figure them out, you really can get in there close and see exactly what's going on your plant. Plus, it's rather cool. So I would use a magnifying lens of some sort to really get in and look at not just the stems, but also the undersides of the leaves and into where the leaf connects to the plant. That's where they tend to hide. You may also notice a sticky substance. It's called honeydew, and it's produced by the scale as they're sucking on the plant, and then it usually drips down to the leaves below. So if you see something sticky on a leaf, look above because it's probably dropped down below. You may also just wonder why your plant isn't doing well, or you notice yellowing leaves or deformed leaves. Those are all good reasons to get out your magnifying lens and take a closer look at your plant. The first step in dealing with your plant that has an infestation of scale is to remove it physically. The easiest way, honestly, if you can afford losing foliage, is to cut off or trim off the most affected foliage. Now, I have done that in the past with other plants that just have it more than I want to deal with. You just clip that stem right off, dispose of it in the trash, and be done with it. And then you go forward with treating the rest of the plant. But today I can't really do that because I have found scale pretty low down on these stems. So what I'm going to do is physical removal. And I'm going to do that with probably my fingernail, to be honest, because that is the simplest tool. But there are other tools if that makes you squeamish. You can also use a toothbrush to scrub away. And some people have success using a Q-tip and alcohol. So you would just coat the Q-tip with alcohol and then rub them off. Like I said, I just get in there with my thumbnail and scrape away. All right, I got after it and I just washed my hands and scrubbed under my nails because It's kind of gross. But I think I got all of the mature scale. Now I'm going to take this guy into my shower because I want to hose him down, because maybe if I scraped it off and didn't quite kill it, it might have dropped into the soil, and I just don't want any problems. So I'm going to go ahead and take him in and give him a shower and then do phase 2 of the treatment. The next phase of my treatment plan is to give this guy a shower. I want to hose off any remnants of what I scraped away, and maybe if I'm lucky, get rid of some of the crawlers as well. Having your plant in the shower is the perfect place for the next step, and that is to treat with a neem oil spray. So I'm going to give him a full covering, tops of leaves, bottom of leaves, all the stems, and even the top of the soil with my neem oil spray. I'll put the formula for this in the comments. Dealing with insects is nobody's favorite plant task, but I'm here to tell you, an infestation of scale does not have to be the end of the world or the end of your plant. Hopefully you learned a few things in this video. I appreciate you hanging in there with me, and I hope that you'll leave a comment below telling me if you've ever dealt with scale on your plant or what your most fearsome plant insect is. As always, my plant friends, let's keep growing together a greener world.